what it's turned into, I think, was even beyond our wildest dreams, and it's really a testament to, I think, who Vermonters are. And I think from the start, they had faith in the idea and faith in the club, and really just have, our success has to be tied to the support we've been given, because it's really phenomenal. I think there's nothing like it in U.S. soccer right now.
Let's bring on Patrick Infurna. Patrick, great to see you as always. Fun fact: me and Pat crossed paths back in the day. It was kind of like a Kick TV Copa 90, because it's like the merger acquisition of those times, and so we crossed over for a little while, but he's gone on to do some great things with Vermont Green. Pat, first and foremost, great to see you. How are you living right now?
It's just so good right now, Jimmy. It's great to see you again, Tony. I don't believe we've met, but it's
my pleasure, man.
Yeah, it's awesome to. I told some people down. We're actually at the stadium right now, and we're kind of breaking down our end of season stuff. Told some people I was going to be on a podcast with you too, and there was a lot of excitement. I had to kind of sneak away. So
they all went to lunch, Jimmy. They all went to lunch after. Look, you see Patrick by himself right now in the office.
I love that. So Pat, before we get into let's reverse engineer it. Obviously, fresh off of winning this USL League Two championship, how did this whole thing begin, and why in Vermont?
Yeah, so I mean, this story, it's pretty wild going back now. Like, I grew up in Vermont. I've as you know, I've been working in soccer for a while now, basically since I got out of college, and I always sort of like dreamed of, borderline joked about, like it would feel awesome to have like professional, semi-professional soccer, like a real soccer culture in Vermont, because I believed that this was a place that was hungry for it. So back in 2020, 21, like Matthew Wolf, Sam Glickman, and I, and some other co-founders, we basically kind of just put this idea together of how do we start a team in this place in Burlington, Vermont, where I grew up, and how do we have it so it's how do we attach something that's a bit more than just like, let's play some football and try to win some championships? How do we put the community first? How do we bring this kind of environmental justice mission alongside of it? And yeah, I mean, it all kicked off in 2022, and it's been a journey ever since. And here we are, and this has been just a wild ride.
Yeah, first off, Patrick, congrats on the win. I know we'll get to that here. USL 2 champions. I saw you guys have it prominent on your website. I'm sure that was good to post. But when you start thinking about these ideas, sometimes you go around the town, you go around the city, or you bring like study groups in together, and they tell you, no, Patrick, man, you're crazy. Like, you're never, like, any stories like that when you first get there, like, hey, Patrick, no one makes money in soccer. Like, stay away from this thing. Like, where were they in the beginning when you started to spread the word about this?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it was like, in Vermont, I think people are really open to the idea of something that's community driven. It's just kind of the culture here, for the farmers markets, the town meeting day culture. I think people saw it and said, like, that sounds fun. But I don't think, and even us, even as someone who I saw like this place that's my home, and I really believed we could do something special here, I don't think I could have ever imagined like the scenes that we had here on Saturday night. It was 2,500 people in the stands, at least another 2,500 outside of the stands, unticketed, just surrounding the areas, climbing up onto like whatever was available. And it's what it's turned into, I think, was even beyond our wildest dreams. And it's really a testament to, I think, who Vermonters are. And I think from the start, they had faith in the idea and faith in the club, and really just have, our success has to be tied to the support we've been given, because it's really phenomenal. I think there's nothing like it in U.S. soccer right now.
Yeah, which is why we wanted to bring you on the show to get into it and talk about it a little bit, and to give you guys some shine and give you your flowers, of course, for all the success. Now, let's talk about one player in particular. His name's Max Kissel. For those that don't know, he scored the winning goal to win the NCAA championship for the University of Vermont, and then scored the game winner in the 91st minute to help Vermont Green beat Ballard FC in the final of the USL League Two. And so I assume he's getting a statue in Burlington. Like, how does that work? When you scored,
it's not already done.
Yeah,
there already.
When is the unveiling of the statue, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, it's really. He deserved a statue like, months ago from the UVM. That was like, and it's been like, wow, what a once in a lifetime thing. Like, what like this is incredible. For him to do it again, to be in that position and to execute. I mean, Max Kissel is a player that is like, I'm convinced he's like in the top 10 most influential Vermonters of all time. Like not just sports people. Like to do this for this state twice, and yeah, and he's just such a humble kid, and he always says he's like, I'm just doing my job. He's like one of those strikers, you know. He's like, I just went to do my job, and I took my moment and I had it. And yeah, it's just he's given 2 lifetimes of joy in less than 12 months. So just I cannot speak highly enough about him, and I'm so excited to see what he does with UVM this fall, and his future has to be just so bright.
Talk about the community there, right? Obviously, they got behind you. I get the sense that, look, the other night was massive, right? You said almost, you're thinking around 5,000 people were there to watch this game in Vermont. And 20 years ago, that would have been, the thought of that would have been like, hey, Patrick, man, you're crazy. Like, don't think it can happen, you know. But now we're seeing it happen. But it seems to me that even without the winning, there's still support for the team, right? Of course, winning always helps. But it seems like you guys have built something that, you mentioned it, is community driven. They love it. They feel like it's theirs.
Yeah, it's always been the model. It's always been the type of club we want it to be, because I think it's again, as you said, winning is incredibly important. But we were selling out games before we ever won a division. You know, we had this buy-in from the people here, and again, I think it's a testament to just the greater idea that we wanted to build something that was obviously like about football, like obviously wants to win, but it was meant to be something that you could attach your identity to outside of the 90 minutes. And I think that's what the community here has done in such a major way. And they've brought themselves into the mix in independent ways. Like, you know, they're doing their own sort of community initiatives, their own activism. They're supporting the team in ways that like are unattached to our match day events. So, and I think this is the type of culture that you see around the country, around the globe, that you know, the best sort of like fan cultures, the best like sort of scenes, they have that element of people that are taking the club's identity and bringing it into every aspect of their lives. And that's what we've seen in Vermont in a way that it's so humbling for us as, you know, the founders and stuff, because it's just like, it's taken on a life of its own, and it's just like so inspiring. And again, to win, and to be able to win here, and to just be able to physically like give the fans the trophy and reward them for everything they've given us. It was just like so emotional. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it so validates all the hard work and the ideas and the creativity and the dreaming that you had, and for everybody else that's joining. So it's very cool that the trophy kind of is just the cherry on top for everything that you built. Now you talked about top. All right, wow, easy flexing on us.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. I helped coach the USL League Two, the San Francisco Glens, for 2 seasons. We lost to Ballard FC, so I'm glad you stuck it to them in the final. I should have started there, Pat. But you talked about Max Kissel being a top 10 Vermonter. You had maybe arguably the most famous Vermonter of all time, Bernie Sanders, who's come to a game before. And what I love is that the fans have called the stadium the Bernie Bow in reference to Real Madrid Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, which is amazing. What's it like having cool. Bernie Sanders be a part?
You know about this?
Yeah.
Did you know?
What's that?
Did you know that this was coming?
The TIFO, no. The supporter is completely independent. We had heard about it. Like, I think it came from like someone's Instagram comment after. So the story with Bernie, and of course he's our representative. So you know, he's been supporting us for a long time, and it's been really, you know, we're so grateful to have him sort of really giving us his backing. But he came to a game in the playoffs. I think it was our second game in the playoffs against FC Motown. And he spoke at halftime when we were down a goal. We eventually were going to be down 2 goals. And he said, like, straight up when he was addressing the crowd, he was like, you know, thank you, Vermont Green, who've been undefeated. And in the next 45 minutes, they're going to remain undefeated. And like, that was like kind of one of those moments that was like, that was like Bernie called the shot. And then he's been such a supporter of this club, again, from a football perspective, but he sees the bigger picture of what we're trying to achieve in the community, and having his support for where we're trying to go is going to be really important. So yeah, it's so cool. He's a Vermont icon, and to have his support is incredible.
So I want to jump in, Tones, really quick. You say like, what's next? Because for those that maybe don't know, the USL League Two season always feels like a bit of an extension of the college season. So you get a lot of college athletes that are being a part of it. And really the season goes from the beginning of May, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, beginning of May to if you make a good run in the playoffs, then you're going all the way to basically the end of July. So it's not a very long season overall. So we could argue Vermont Green, though I think you do a better job than maybe most clubs, but it's hard to stay topical when your season's only a couple months long. So how do you extend that conversation? That's one. And then what is the future for Vermont Green? Is there a desire and a thirst to, now that you've conquered USL League Two, to go up to USL League One, which then becomes professional and maybe changes the way that you're doing business?
Yeah. So this is, as you would imagine, this is the biggest question on the ground here in Vermont, and from kind of everyone. And the honest answer is that Vermont Green FC is a small business. Like we're like run by a handful of guys and awesome staff and our interns, and so we're sort of at this position where we've won the league, we've got all this great support, we've got incredible sponsorships, and we're in a great position right now. And so, but the honest answer is, because we've been so focused on USL2 and winning this, we're just beginning the conversations about what is actually next. And there's a lot of elements that go into that. And the biggest one for us is the enthusiasm around soccer in Vermont has shown us that there's actually quite a glaring lack of infrastructure. Virtue Field is an awesome place. We love playing here, but the 2,500 seats clearly are not enough. But not just that, there's not enough turfs in Vermont for all of the youth that are playing soccer, for all the youth clubs, for all the rec leagues, all the adult leagues. We really have likened it to this sudden incredible soccer revolution that's happening in Vermont. And when you have all this enthusiasm, you realize what you need, and we're behind on a lot of things. So as we look to the future and consider what maybe USL League One, or who knows, we always say this thing is ceilingless. Why don't we look at USL Championship? Who knows? Probably not right away. But the point is, we need to sort of look at the ground floor and build physically and sort of spiritually build a lot more before we can decide what that next step is. But for us, it's a constant labor of love, and we're so committed to figuring out what's next. But we're going to do it in real time. We're going to do it with the community in mind and with the community in the room with us. So I don't have a fun answer yet for what's next, but the answer is that we're not going anywhere, and we're going to keep building this thing.
Yeah, that's the real answer, though, right? That's the answer that gets you to the next step, not the one you're. It's a sort of a pipe dream, if you will. Talk about the mission statement for you guys and sort of what you're doing in sort of on the social side with the environmental justice, because I know right from the start that's been a massive priority for you guys.
Yeah, the mission for this club is the North Star. I mean, everything we're trying to achieve comes with that in mind. And for us, it's actually, I think sometimes people, they look at it in the big picture and they want to sort of get down to the biggest details of it. But the reality is, for us, it is this idea that while we're building something that has this many eyes on it and this much of a platform, it's our responsibility to use this time together supporting this club to be an avenue for thinking about things that are important to our community, again, outside of these 90 minutes. Vermonters are well known for being socially conscious, being very concerned with the environment, concerned with the well-being of their neighbors, and we just don't think that's something that needs to be checked at the door when you go to a football match or a sports event of any kind. And in fact, the enthusiasm that you get from loving the game of soccer is an excellent medium to channel into something else. So, for example, we have our fans, they just raised $25,000 for migrant justice and the Immigrant Legal Defense Fund here in Vermont, doing critical work on behalf of our neighbors. So for us, it's just that it's the idea that getting people together is a really sort of revolutionary thing in its own right, and to be together with your neighbors, to think about something bigger than just the things that's right in front of you. That's what the club is always going to want to be about, and we're going to always be keep that in mind as we grow. And yeah, and again, I think a big part of winning USL League Two and having the success on the field is a testament and a proof of concept that a values-driven organization can be successful and will be successful. And we actually liken our success to the idea that we're leading with our values. So Yeah, it's an important part of our club. It's the most important part of our club, to be honest. And it's been great.
Yeah, vehicle for a positive change in the world. So we love to see it, and we appreciate what you and Matthew and Sam and all the other co-founders and everybody that's working there are doing, including the players, right? They're the ones that kind of bring everything to life and obviously win trophies. Shout out to Max Kissel once again. Here's the big question, though, before we let you go, Pat. Do you think Vermont Green FC, this is a real one, this is super serious, as you know to me, to be very serious. Vermont Green FC, do you think they could beat the New England Revolution right now? That's the big question.
Definitely.
I love it. Yes, definitely. I love it. Max Kissel scoring the winner in the 90th minute.
I think, and I have my sporting director, Adam Pfeiffer, who's here, who wanted to thank you for Nathan Simeon, our right back.
Oh, yeah. Final. Yeah, Sim played for me at USL League Two with the Glens, and he's a beast. Yeah,
such a player. But no, to answer your question, I put us up against anybody at this exact moment. It's funny to say, as all these guys are literally gone. They left the next morning after the championship to go back to their college programs. A very funny aspect of USL too. But if we could get them back, yeah, we'll take on anybody.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is a hell of a drug, right? And momentum. Patrick Infurna, everybody. Vermont Green FC, done. Congratulations. Continued success both on and off the field. We hope to come to a game soon. We'd love to see what that looks like in person. And, of course, we know the future is very bright, so we're excited for you. Look at you getting to the end of the video. All right. Very proud of you. Now, if you want more average to good content, this is your channel. Go look at other videos, playlists. We have it all figured out. For more of the good stuff, then you got to make sure you hit like on this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything, and then turn on your notifications so you know when we're going live or if anything drops right when it comes out. We'd really appreciate it. See you next time.